is mukharifun li nafsihi bila mithal. Mukharifun is incomparability or dissimilarity, and again, this is the problem of tanzih and tashbih, that while we have an understanding that Allah is absolutely dissimilar, we also have to use similarities to speak about Allah. If I say Allah is a sami', He is the all-hearing, you have to have some concept of what hearing is in order for you to understand in any way what I'm talking about. And the only way you know about what hearing is because you can hear. You know what ears are. You know what sound is. And yet our understanding is that Allah yasma'u bila jariha, that Allah, there's no means by which Allah hears. That Allah does not, sound waves do not reach Him in that way. He is the creator of sound waves. He does not need sound waves to hear. He does not need an eighth cranial nerve to hear. God is ta'ala Allah amma yasifun. He has no need of this organ of hearing that we have and this hiss that we have. So when we speak about Allah, we have to recognize that when we say He's mukharifun li khalqihi, He's incomparable, it means in reality. So while we have to compare, when we speak about Allah to things we know, we have to also retain in our understanding that laysa kamithlihi shay', and that's why that ayah is so perfect, because it says laysa kamithlihi shay' wa huwa sami' al-basir. Nothing is like Him, and then He tells us, and He can hear, just to really send it home to us. Nothing is like Him, and having said that, by the way, I can hear and I can see. But don't think that hearing and sight is anything to do with your hearing and sight. And that's what we have to keep in mind when we say mukharifun li khalqihi. Right? That's what we have to keep in mind. That we do need the mushabaha, but we have to understand the mushabaha. And I know this is kind of a debatable mathematical understanding, but the way that I like to understand this is there's a concept, an Indian mathematician, that put forward the idea that any number over infinity is zero. And that is how I like to look at this, is that any quality that Allah describes Himself with that has any similarity to creation, when we recognize that His is infinite and ours is finite, it cancels out ours. In other words, there is no comparability. We cannot compare our hearing to Allah's hearing. We can't compare our knowledge to Allah's knowledge, because our knowledge is ignorance. Like Ibn Atta'illah said, Ilahi أنا جاهل في علمي فكيف لا أكون جاهلا في جهلي. Oh my God, I am ignorant in what I know. So how could I not be ignorant in what I'm ignorant of? And that's a deep knowledge. أنا جاهل في علمي. I am ignorant in my knowledge. In other words, in relation to your knowledge, I am jahil. I know nothing. I know nothing. And so that is, I think, a good way to look at that. Mukharifun li khalqihi is that those things that Allah has given us in order to approximate some kind of understanding of our Lord, those things in reality have nothing to do with our Lord.